Hey everybody, how are you? It is Saturday, August 13th, and I am Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher. As you can see from the thumbnail, I have 1 week before school starts, and so I don't know if I'm going to do a video next week, because that'll be my scramble weekend to get ready for school. I still have not been allowed in my room because apparently they put a new HVAC system on our end of the building. So the ceiling tiles were down and, dirt and crud and blah, 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 blah. And from what I understand, they were just cleaning our rooms last week. So, yeah, this next week is going to be, if I can get in my room, I got stuff to do. Because they only allow us 3 hours on in-service days to get ready. And I'd rather do it when I have time. So with that being said, I'm going to try and go on a regular, maybe every 2 weeks schedule. We'll get that figured out. So I can't remember if I introduced myself. I am Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher, and I'm disorderly because I don't plan what I work on. Whatever floats my boat at that moment, whatever ooh shiny moment, whatever squirrel, that's what I work on. So here we go. I had some progress, I had some creation, and I had some haul. So here we go. Okay. So I did work on Christmas lists. And if you recall from last week, I was about here on turkey dressing. And so I got all the way up to the top and moved the Q-snap, and now I'm working down this side from here up. So I'm doing the top half first. All right. So yeah, I love this. It's fun. I'm doing it on 16 count fabric flare or something, I think. It's the one that's printed on the front and it's white on the back, but it's cool. I can't remember what color it is, but it looks mottled, so I'm happy. But the cool thing about text is that it's one color, and once you get that thread going, it's really not that hard. So yeah, I'm really having fun with this one. I look forward to working on another one of her designs. It's Silver Creek Samplers. She is from Montrose, PA, which is north of me. So yeah, love it, love it, love it. The second thing, I'm sorry to say, I started to work on is my Statehood Splendor. Now, I had announced this on my last video, and then I did a short in the middle of this past week, just as a reminder of the stitch along. The Statehood Splendor series is a series of smalls put out by Thread Milk Designs, and it's each state. Now, she has most of the states released. I think the last 10 are supposed to come out late August or during September. And I originally decided I was going to do the states I lived in red and the states I visited in blue. But this morning when I was ready to start this video, I was like, wait a minute, I can't do that. And I'll show you why in a minute. So here's Ohio. I was born in Ohio. The cool thing about Ohio is it is all red. And it called for country redwood. And I couldn't find country redwood when I bought the chart and the threads, so I bought Buckeye Scarlet. Okay, which would make sense because Ohio is the Buckeye state. Well, then I found country redwood on 123 Stitch, so I thought, okay, I'll order a couple skeins, see if I like it. If I don't, I'll use Buckeye Scarlet on Ohio, and then the rest of them we'll see. So here is country redwood next to Buckeye Scarlet, and you can see that country redwood is a lot browner, I guess. So I decided to stick with Buckeye Scarlet. Now, I couldn't wait to start Ohio. So the other day, Friday, while I was watching Lori Holtz on introduced her new book, Scrappiness is Happiness, on the Fat Quarter Shop YouTube channel, I sat here and I worked on Ohio. And I'm using 24 count rain barrel, which, you know, over 2, it means 12 to the inch. And I probably should be using 2 strands, but I'm not. And I'm happy with it. You know, I mean, maybe I'll do a little test and see what 2 strands would look like, and if I like it, I'll go back and rip it out, but I don't know. I really don't know. But I started it. I'll start another one for the stitch along. Stitch along is scheduled for September 1st, but you know, I'm happy with it. I think it looks good with 1 strand. So I couldn't wait. I'm sorry. So, you know, like on the Ohio, it has the plane for the Wright brothers. It has moon for Neil Armstrong. It has number 17, the date. It was the 17th state. Came in 1803. And it was the first state carved out of the Northwest Territory, which eventually became Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin. There's your history teacher lesson for the day. And of course, the carnation. The cool thing about Ohio is, I was like, well, yeah, I could do all the states that I've lived in red. But then this morning, I realized I can't do that because of a state like Pennsylvania. And on the chart, on some of these charts, many of these charts, they're not all one color. So if you look at Pennsylvania, doing that all in red is not going to look good, especially the blue field behind the stars, because it was one of the original 13. So I think what I might do instead is do the abbreviation and maybe the year in red and keep everything else the way it's supposed to be. So like this one needed 221 DMC, which is the color called for in the Prairie Schooler Santas. So like here's that. Okay, Weeks Dye Works Fathom and 221 DMC. But you know, it's like, do I want to? I got so many threads going on here, it's ridiculous. Do I want to use that Screaming Red Buckeye Scarlet against that? I don't know. I do not know. So anyway, my original plan of making some red, some blue just went out the window. And honestly, look at that. They look almost the same. So, yeah. So I don't know. But anyway, yes, I started it and, you know, I was bad. Couldn't wait. I had a squirrel moment. Squirrel! So, yeah. Sorry. Who knows? And if I don't like the single strand on here and I rip it out, then I'll be back to square one. But we'll see. So, of course, if you're doing something with the states, you gotta have a cool bag, right? So I made myself a state project bag. Now it also has Canadian provinces on it, which is cool. And I think there's one stamp on here that says Europe. I'm not sure. Thought I saw it when I was making it. But isn't that the coolest thing? I got this fabric at Joann's. I don't know how long ago. Most likely when my daughter worked at Joann's over a year ago. But yeah. I just think it's cool. I love making these bags. I quilted this one. And then the lining is all the states. So yeah, I'm pumped. I really like this. I really like this. So, created this. I also made 2 other project bags that are going to be gifts, and I don't want to show them to you yet because I don't know if these 2 individuals have watched my channel or watch my channel, so I will take pictures and I will show you next week. I know I said that last week about another gift that I sent. I have not heard from that person, and I don't know if she watches my channel, so you will probably see them all at the same time. Okay, so I will show them to you when I know they've gotten them. All right, so that was my progress and creation. All right, so yeah, let's talk about haul. One of the things I got, and I think I mentioned, but I don't know if I said anything about it last week, was this Juki 2010Q. I just wanted a powerful straight stitch machine, and that's all the Juki does, is straight stitch. And of course I have to get the Bernina back out if I want to do zigzag, especially around my cross stitch fabric. So I just haul it out, put it on top of the table, use it, and put it back. So and I'll need it out when I do my rugs as well, because I have to zigzag the rugs, the tube together in the rug. But yeah, I'm really liking it. I love this big tray on it. It's a workhorse. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. All right. So there's a gal at Starlight Stitching Co. And I'm going to cover up part of this because she gave a discount. So she's on, let's see if I can do this without, let's use a Post-it note. Here you go. Here's your trivia for the day. Did you know Post-it notes were a mistake? Yeah, the guy invented the formula for something he was working on at 3M. Didn't do what he wanted to, and he put the formula in a file cabinet. And later on they dragged it out. And ta-da! We have Post-it notes. All right, so Starlight Stitching Co. She's on Instagram, and she's on, she has her own website. Now, what she makes are cross-stitch clutches, but she only releases them on the 1st and the 15th of the month. So that means if you follow her on Instagram, you're going to get a notification of when she's ready to release some. Because once they're gone, they're gone. And then she makes another batch, and you know, because you never know if she's going to make that same thing again. So she also sells the pattern. And I bought the pattern and I made one and I wasn't happy with it. And so I bought one of hers to use as a model because, you know, imitation is the best form of flattery. So I got it. She used, I believe it's the chicken fabric from Lori Holt's cookbook. And I fell in love with it. So this is what it looks like. All right, so you have the back, you have the front, it's vinyl, okay, has this little zipper. She put a chicken charm on it, which I thought was cute. And you have your pocket, okay, and then you also have an inside pocket, okay, same fabric. And then you have this huge flannelly spot for your floss, and then this for your needles. When I made mine, I think I was moving too fast because I was like, this can't be that hard. And so my snaps are not exactly square and it's not as stiff as hers, so I need to go back and I need to get what she used to stabilize and the fuzzy stuff she used for the thread keep part. But I think it's just batting. I think all that is a batting. But yeah, so I'm hoping I can make myself some more. I obviously, it's not going to work for projects like, you know, a Hawk Run Hollow that you have to pull a gazillion flosses for. But I just thought it was cute. So yeah. So if you're interested in something like this, go to, if you're on Instagram, go to Starlight Stitching Co. and follow her. Or go to her website, and then you have to keep track of the date. And I think she released it at noon Central Time, which meant I was on there at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Okay. And you know, I had the website open, and it was like, okay, it's 1 o'clock, nothing's happening. I was like, refresh it. And as soon as I refreshed it, they were available. Okay. So that's that. And the Sweetheart says 10% off your next order. There's a code. Sorry, I'm not going to show it to you. So it gets tucked in there. All right, so some more haul. If you remember last week, I showed you these Little House Needleworks Early Americans. Betsy Ross, Martha Washington, Nathan Hale. The center will be Freedom, Paul Revere, Abigail Adams, Patrick Henry. Told you the story about going to his house in Ashland. Molly Pitcher, who is from Carlisle, which is just up the road, and John Hancock. Okay. So I have been looking at these forever, as I said last week, and Lori at Thread Milk Designs showed it, I believe it was, and she showed it on one piece of fabric. And I'm like, well, that's cool. And the fabric she showed it on was a fabric that has the Constitution printed on it from Primitive Hair. Okay, so I got my fabric. So you can see it has We the People, blah, 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 blah. And it has Article 1, has the preamble and Article 1. So yeah, I'm really pumped to do this. Article 1 of the Constitution sets up the legislative branch. So I've learned more about the Constitution in the last couple years than I ever thought I would. You know, you got to know what you teach, right? And I always tell my kids, you know, don't complain about your rights or the government unless you have a basic understanding of it. Constitution. So I got the fabric for that. That's on my list. I also bought a piece of Legacy Linen Belfast 32. I don't know why I bought it, but it's pretty. So I will use it for something. It's a big piece. If something like Consider the Lilies or His Eyes Are on the Sparrow work on this, that's might be what it's for. But it's gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. So I got that. And I think I had shown this to you last week on Happy Little Stitch Shop. Angela introduced, she does what's called a Sabbath stitch. This year she's been working on Savior's Praise. I think it's by Scarlet House. I'm not sure. I know I have it buried in there, so if I misspoke, I apologize. But she's been working on that, and then she started wrestling with what I'm going to do next. So she pulled this one out by Rosewood Manor and A Forest Grew. And the cool thing about these, I think, is that you do a motif and you're done. And you can feel like you've accomplished something. Sort of like working on the words on Christmas list. So anyway, the maybe not so cool thing about this one, it does have a DMC list and an anchor list. I use DMC. I'm not going to go out and buy a bunch of anchor threads, but anyway, this is the thread list. Huge, huge, huge. It calls for 32 count Belfast Weigert, and so while I was on 123 Stitch, I went and I found the cream linen. And the thing I like about 123 Stitch is that they serge it before they mail it. So anyway, that's on my list of things to start someday. Someday. No, okay. I'm not going to start singing West Side Story. So, yeah. I don't think I have anything else. It's been a really, I did work on my Sparkle Star foundation. Hang on, I'll get those because I did want to show you something. Okay, so I forgot that there were some quilt patterns that I wanted to show you. In the past, I've gotten quilt magazines, and I don't keep the whole magazine because A, space, and B, I don't particularly care for every pattern in every magazine. The ones I do like, I tear out and I put in a sleeve pocket thing. Sheet protector. Alright. So, I went through my binder and I'm like, okay, what can I do? What can I prep? What can I do? Whatever. So the first one I pulled out was, and my husband approved of this one probably because it's Civil War looking. But it was in American Patchwork and Quilting in 2010 and it's called Odds and Ends. I will probably make it bigger, I don't know. But it gives you some really weird sizes for the blocks. And I was like, all right, I got to figure out how I can make this easier. So I decided to try and use triangle paper from Fat Quarter Shop. And the way I figured it, these finish I think I got it right. I don't know. I'm going to use triangle paper for the triangles. We'll figure this out. I'm not sure. These may end up being flying geese. Yeah, well, the outside will be flying geese. The inside, that's what these are for. Okay. And then I was like, all right, if I'm going to change the size of the triangles, I got to change the size of something else. So I went and I made a example. And so just, anyway, my brain was working the other day. So anyway, that's on my list of things to do. There's another one on the other side, but I don't think I kept it. I don't know. Well, yeah, I did. So we have what's called Gosling Go Round. I don't know. It would end up being scrappy, but it's cute too. So yeah, if you get a magazine and you don't like every pattern in it, just tear the ones out that you like and go from there. And then keep them in a binder. So I pulled that one out. So there's that. Then another one I pulled out was in a magazine. And I want to use up my 30s prints. I love 30s reproduction, you know, feed sack type prints. This was in the Quilt Sampler magazine from 2008. I think that's like a carpenter star. I'm not sure. But again, it gives you some really weird sizes for the triangles. Be very scrappy. So I decided I'm going to try using triangle paper. Now, if you're curious about triangle paper, they show it. Just go to the Fat Quarter Shop YouTube channel, not the Flosstube channel, but Fat Quarter Shop, and search triangle paper, and I'm sure they have a tutorial on it. The other side of this is this cute little thing, which, you know, you could make a table topper or a wall hanging, or you could make as many blocks as you wanted and make a quilt. I have way too many quilts in my house. All right, so that's that. Pulled that one out because that's on my list of things to do. And then this one I got from the All People Quilt website, which is American Patchwork and Quilting. Now this is another one that I really like because I'm going to, you know, do some damage to my Civil War reproductions. It's called S'mores. There's that one. And then this one I got from, I'm not going to show you the measurements. I got from, is it Temecula Quilt Company. And I thought, okay, we can do this. So I started playing with scraps. I was like, all right, I can make light on dark, dark on light, and then I still have to make the 9 patch. So that's on my list of things to do. I have to retire. That's all there is to it. Permanent summer vacation. So yeah, that's on my list. Because I have all those 1.5 inch strips in my strip drawer. Another one I pulled out for 30s prints was this one. And then on the other side of this is a pink and brown, bubblegum pink. Not really into pink and brown, but who knows. And another one I pulled out was this. Again, chop up my 30s prints. And I pulled this one out. Now this one's been in my possession since 2005. I do have some reproduction red, green, and yellow to use. So that's on my list. And this one is sort of like a shoe fly block. So that might be a possibility. I don't know. I haven't decided. So many quilts, so little time. And this one I thought was cool. It's just squares and rectangles. This one I liked because it's just 2 color. I could pick up any 2 colors I wanted, but it's cool because it has big stars and little stars. And this is from 2016, and then I have that. Lots of scraps. I am determined to use up this fabric. This one, of course, I kept because it's red and white. And you could do this in any color. This is called Feathered Star. And then this one I like. It's a 2 color. Again, you could do it in any color you wanted. But I like it. So those are plans. I don't know if those plans will come to fruition, but they're plans. But anyway, I was telling you that I had worked a little bit on my, sorry for the crinkling, I had worked on my Sparkle Star. This paper was designed by Lori Holt of Bee in My Bonnet. It is a foundation paper. So I think I explained it to you before, but I will explain it to you again. The foundation paper, what they do is they give you the measurements, and they give you different layouts depending on the size of the quilt you want to make and how many blocks you have to make. So foundation paper looks like this. You put the fabric on the back of the paper, and then you sew on this side. So again, if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about that, go to Fat Quarter Shop, and I'm sure they have a tutorial. But they've come out with different types of foundation paper. Here's square and a square. They have log cabin. They have pineapple, and Lori Holt just came out with a new one called the kite block. But anyway, So I have been working on mine, and what I accomplished this week in a couple of days was I worked on this many. All right, so I left the paper on because I thought I'd show you. All right, so here's the side of the block, but here's the paper. So the back of the fabric is actually against the paper, the wrong side of the fabric. So what I do is when I lay the big piece down, I fold the paper back on the line and I trim the larger piece, and then I lay a rectangle of the background down, and then I turn it over and I sew. And I use a really short stitch. I used a 1.5 stitch so that when I want to, the paper comes off really easily. I don't use muslin because I don't want that to stay in my quilt. I don't use batting because I don't want that to stay in my quilt. So if I'm doing a block like that, I use foundation paper. Otherwise, if I'm just doing string quilts, I learned from Bonnie Hunter that in order to make string quilts, and I will find it as soon as I can, here we go, I use phone books. This came from Bonnie Hunter. Phone book paper is very thin, and the ink does not come off. So as long as you don't get them wet. All right, you don't want to get them wet. And I don't spray my blocks. I don't steam. So yeah, I'll show you a string quilt. One of these days I'll show that to you next week. So yeah, that's really all I have. I know this is short compared to other ones, and I do apologize, but like I said, my brain is starting to click into school mode. I have been filling out my book of days. It's, you know, it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I've probably been putting more stickers in it than I have anything. So there's that, you can see. So yeah, first day of school, got the big head. All right, so in order to celebrate school, I told you about a day my husband and I spent in Lancaster, and I went to Stitches Unlimited and Hodgepodge, and I bought some charts that I already had. So I decided to have another giveaway. It's a small one, but if you're interested, make sure that you are over 18. So I can ask for your address, and make sure, I would really appreciate that you are a subscriber. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and I want you to answer this question. What is your favorite, what is your most memorable thing about school? Most vivid memory of school. I hope it's a good one. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to give away is this one. With Thy Needle and Thread by Brenda Gervais. Souvenirs of the Heart, Star Spangled Spectacular. I have 2 of these. Okay. So this is the giveaway today. So answer the question, what is your most fond, I don't want to say fond, because sometimes schools don't have fond memories, but your most memorable experience of school. Okay? So, have a wonderful week. If it's cooled down where you are, enjoy it. Open those windows and get some air through the house. Obviously, if I'm going to go on a 2-week schedule, the giveaway will be 2 weeks. So The deadline for responding to the question will be Friday evening, August 26th at 5 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, tell your friends about our channel. All are welcome, you know, all stitchers and quilters and crafters. If you punch needle, that's great. I really would like to learn to punch needle. Weaving has always been on my radar, but I don't have room for a loom. Spinning, I thought would be cool to try. I don't have room for a wheel. Yeah. There's so many things I would love to try, but I only have one life. So, again, have a wonderful week. Enjoy. Get some creativity accomplished, and I will see you in 2 weeks. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.